Hey folks, welcome to episode 11 of the Social Media Stewards F1 podcast. 2026 battery power and bold claims are season predictions. There's been very little news this week, little bits. It's gone a bit quiet. Before the season starts, a little bits are coming through, but we'll get onto them later. We're going to start, as we said last week, with our predictions for what's going to come up. And we're going to go with the constructors to begin with, I do believe, bud.
Go with the teams first, I think,
Yeah, so we're going to do this reverse order. Build our way up to who we think the champions are.
Oh, yes.
Right, so you're all going to see, if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see our predictions in the top right-hand of the podcast. But obviously we will, for those listening in, we will say who it is that we think. But in 11th place, who we think is going to finish at the bottom of the pile in 2026 and the new regs. We've both gone for two totally different teams.
Yeah, we have, yeah. Do you want to start off with your prediction?
Yeah, I've gone with Cadillac. As great as it is to see a new team in the sport, I think this is an R&D season for them. I don't think those cars are going to score points.
Yeah.
I think all the other teams are just going to be a little bit too strong for them. They've got two great drivers for an R&D season, let's be honest. I just don't think they'll find their way into the top 10 in any of the races unless something crazy happens. I can't see it. I cannot see it.
Yeah, I don't particularly agree with that one. Only in the fact that I think having that Ferrari engine, they've come in, we know that Ferrari engine's strong. Having such a strong engine and then having two really good seasoned drivers, I think they've got a good chance. Don't get me wrong, it is going to be R&D. When it comes down to the strategies, procedures, things like that, yes, there are going to be some amazing mistakes, but I just don't think they're going to be bottom, which is why I've gone for Aston Martin. And that's not a dig at Aston Martin. I just think with the news that's come out with their engine supplier, Honda, and everything, saying that it's not even charging to the minimum requirements for the battery, let alone the upper requirements. There's even been little snippets this week that they might do the formation lap at the first race, maybe 2 or 3 laps after that, and then just retire the cars. I just think it would have to be an immense turnaround for them not to plummet. And I don't wish it upon them. I'd love to see them do better, especially with a Adrian Newey design car. And a Honda power unit has always been a fantastic thing. So to not see them do well will be a shame. But I just think the way it's panning out and the way testing and everything went, I can't see them being anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue other than, I think with Cadillac, yes, the Ferrari engine is great, but we didn't see any great times in the pre-season.
Yeah.
We didn't see. We keep saying this. We don't know how or what strats or what modes they were running, what scenarios they were running.
Of course.
But they were 4.5 seconds consistently off the pace. And yes, the Aston Martin do look like they're in trouble right now. But I honestly think there'll be a couple of teams that struggle to score points, Cadillac being one of them. And if Aston Martin get it together, even for the last third of the season, I think they'll outscore a couple of maybe the likes of Cadillac and stuff. But yeah, it's a roll of the dice. Me not putting them there the way things are.
Yeah, but, no, I understand that.
But I get the feeling they'll come good. It's just at what point in the season.
Yeah, that's fair play.
Yeah,
fair play.
So, and then moving on, should we move on to 10th?
Yeah.
I went with Alpine. No, sorry, no, Audi, not Alpine.
I was going to say, I went with Alpine.
I went with Audi. They've got a great driver lineup. Bortoleto and Hulkenberg. It's nothing against the driver lineup, but I think, and yes, they were Sauber last season, but this is a completely different setup, and it's their own engine, and I think they're probably going to they're going to probably run into issues with that engine as the season goes, and I don't think it's going to give them the performance they want to consistently score points.
Fair play. Yeah.
It's absolutely nothing against the drivers, like I say.
Yeah, but you've got to look at how advanced that Audi is. I mean, it's got indicators. I mean, what more do you want? to show the commitment of putting indicators on an Audi is unreal.
Mm, yeah.
That if that doesn't show you're here to stay, what does? Do you know what I mean? That's incredible. And they've actually fitted the bulbs. I just think, for me, with it being an already existing team, it was stake. They did manage to score points. Seeing Hulkenberg on the podium for the first time last year, I understand it's Audi's own engine this year. It's not a team-supplied engine. So there are obstacles that will come against, but I wouldn't put them that low down, which is why I went for Alpine. Partially because, well, they've just got a track record of being a bit rubbish, really. No offense to them. Yeah, but it's true.
No,
it's true.
I get you.
With seeing the clips, I haven't yet watched the full new Drive to Survive, but with them seeing clips where drivers are trying to make suggestions, and I can never remember the fella's name. I'm awfully sorry.
Briatore.
Yes, just sort of basically saying, I don't care what you think, it's my show, shut your face. Well, that's the nice way of putting it. Anyway, it's not the way he put it. I kind of just think, well, actually, that's no way to run a team. And if you want your drivers to do the best they can for you ever, you shouldn't really talk to people like that, and it's not the right way of treating them. And I kind of think, is that the way it goes in the team, as not just with the drivers? Do people come up with suggestions and he goes, it's not your show, shut up? And I think, well, you're never going to get anywhere then, are you? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's grim.
Yeah, I think the context on that was it was Colapinto that was basically getting the rough end of that, and he wasn't scoring points and he wasn't really helping the team out. So, but I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
But I do think with that Mercedes gearbox and engine and Pierre Gasly, Alpine will score points this season.
They might do.
And if Colapinto gets his act together.
Yeah.
Then,
which
is why I put them a little bit higher up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, 9th position. See, I went with Audi.
Yeah,
I've got high hopes for them. I just think they've already got a decent enough team built from the days of Stake, which was only last year. So they have got a decent team around them. They seem to have ironed out a lot of the kinks. All right, it's now an Audi team, but all the designers are still going to be the same and everything. The only thing that's really changed is the power unit. Obviously, a lot of unknowns with that.
Yeah.
But Audi do know how to make a good engine, let's face it.
They do, but do they know how to make a good F1 engine? And it's all new regs. We don't know if anybody can make a good 2026 engine.
No, I completely agree.
But I get what you're saying with it being a pre-existing team and everything, but I think just if they'd have gone, right, we'll stay as a customer this year, I'd have kind of gone, they could really do something this year. They could, put the cat among the pigeons in that mid table, with a tried and tested engine developer in F1 with all that data, all that knowledge that they've got. But coming in fresh with a brand new engine, I think it's a huge roll of the dice, and kudos to them for doing it. But I think that'll be the downfall for them. I think they'll find gremlins and issues and.
Maybe.
And like Cadillac, it'll be a massive learning curve for them. But unlike Cadillac, if something goes wrong, they can't go to their engine provider and go, "We've got a problem."
Yeah, of course.
And so for my choice, I went with Aston Martin because, like I said before, I think it doesn't look good right now. It really doesn't.
No.
But I honestly do think they could go through 2/3 of the season struggling. get it together for that last 7 or 8 races and still outscore the likes of Audi, Cadillac.
Maybe.
Just, they've got Alonso at the wheel. If Stroll somehow manages to kind of get to grips and really enjoy this car, like we said the other week, it could happen. Like the last regs might not have suited him. I think they could outscore the new guys, even if they only have like a third of a good season.
That's the thing. I don't even disagree with you on it. I think you're completely right. They could. I just think it looks so dire at the moment. I don't want to put Aston Martin that low down. I just think looking at it. Oh.
Yeah, I think the thing for me is it's Honda. Honda will figure it out. I do think they'll figure it out. Whether it's in 3 months or 6 months, I don't know, but they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think my main concern with Aston Martin is I was extremely hopeful in the fact that when they got to the shakedown, it was all in black. It looked like the Batmobile.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Adrian Newey was talking, it was the car at the shakedown will look nothing like the one at testing. That will look nothing like the one that's going to be at the first race, and it'll look nothing like the one towards the end of the season. And I just think that sounds fantastic, and it sounds like you have got this absolutely worked out. Wow, you've done 3 laps. And I just think the problem for me is at what point they must have absolutely emptied the bank balance on this. At what point do they hit the limit of being able to sort the car? Yeah. Because I know, don't get me wrong, Honda being the engine supplier, I would assume the cost of sorting that engine will probably be with Honda rather than Aston Martin.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, depending on how much they change it, how much will they have to change the car to suit? So I kind of think at some point they're going to come up against a barrier where they cannot spend any more, and they're just going to have to run it the way it is. Even if they fix the engine, can they not change the chassis the way they need to because they've already spent their budget? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I think Newey's statement gave me the idea that from his standpoint, the car, chassis, aero, all of that, they are very happy with where that is. Like wind tunnel runs, everything. They're happy with the data and the side pods, the front wing, the rear wing, the floor. Yeah. And so for him going, that car is not going to be the car you see when you get to Australia and beyond. In my mind, it was like, well, him saying, no, the car is okay. And it actually just turns out being that it's the engine.
Yeah.
So the thing that was known under like Aston Martin's control, really, is the one thing that's let them down.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And let's hope that's the way it works out. Do you know what I mean? There's so many ifs, buts, and coconuts on it. I'm not sure. Yeah. So I just think it's going to be a lot for them to turn that around. It's going to be a big ask.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But I hope that they do, because seeing an Adrian Newey designed Aston Martin was what we've wanted since we knew he was going there. Do you know what I mean? That we've longed for that. Because we wanted Aston Martin to come out with Adrian's car and just put the cat amongst the pigeons. That's what we hoped for. Yeah. So I hope that's right. I hope I'm wrong on my prediction.
It's just going to be
right now where it stands.
It's just going to be a shame if we see Fernando Alonso's and Stroll's feet through the bottom like Flintstone style.
Yeah, if it's Flintstone style, that's not good. Yeah.
Moving on to 8. I think you've been very hopeful. Here.
I'm an optimist, man. You know what I mean? What do you want from me? I've gone for Cadillac.
Yeah.
I honestly think the Ferrari seems to have a cracking power unit. And okay, the team's new. They're going to make silly mistakes. Can their strategies be worse than Ferrari? I doubt it. Unless they put wets on a dry track, I think we'll be fine. I mean, Bottas was an outstanding driver, and he's one of those drivers that always keeps a cool head.
Yes.
I have never seen Bottas sort of be out of sorts behind the wheel. He's never sort of got hot and bothered. He's just got on with the job. And to be fair, so is Perez. And hopefully now he did that podcast where he got everything off his chest from Red Bull. Hopefully he can move on now that he's had therapy. So I think they've got a good driver lineup. And that's what they needed with a fresh team on the grid. You needed experienced drivers to help guide that team. And I think that's exactly what they've done. So I think good power unit, good driver pairing. I'm hopeful for Cadillac. I'm really hopeful.
Yeah. I can't argue with the driver pairing. Like we've said it a number of times that, if you want to learn the ins and outs of the car's strategy, all of that, you want to know where the car's going wrong, you can't have a rookie in there in your first season.
No, so you can't.
Getting that much experience behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Fantastic move.
Brilliant.
And not just in terms of experience and getting car data and getting good feedback from your drivers, but if you did happen to give them a good car, they could get you points. I just don't think the car's quick enough, which is why I went.
No, that's fair enough.
But I do think the Alpine, like I said, with that Mercedes engine, with that Mercedes gearbox, and with Pierre Gasly at the wheel, because he's such a good driver. I think they'll score consistently. And it's just a case of whether Colapinto starts kind of pulling his weight there.
Of course.
I've got huge question marks over Colapinto again. But again, as with Stroll, could it be that he just didn't suit the last regs? And this season. So I've gone for Alpine there in 8th. I think there's enough there for me, I think, for them to get the points.
Fair enough. I can't argue with it. I just very unsure. Very unsure. It's one of those teams, isn't it, that they either have a decent race and they're very consistent through the race and manage to pick up places because they're so consistent. Do you know what I mean? They don't take big risks. They just plod on, and they're good at doing that, so they can climb the way up. But I'm just unsure.
I know they do have a tendency to trip themselves up occasionally.
Yes.
Like when they had Ocon and Gasly there, and you're like, oh, that's going to be a semi-decent pair. But then they just kept on tripping each other. So,
of course,
But I just think with the other teams on the grid, they've just got that little bit extra in the pocket. So
fair play.
That'll be my choice for 8th.
Okay. So for 7th, I've gone for Haas.
And
in some ways, reflecting on this, I should have had them a little bit higher up. But Haas. And I'm kind of more hopeful for Haas this year, really. I should have put them higher up. But having that Toyota developed chassis and then the Ferrari engine, that could be a really good pairing. And Ocon's a good driver. And Behrman, I've got really high hopes for Behrman.
Yeah.
I like him. I like him.
When you sent me your list, I was surprised when you had Haas there. Because I was like, man, like that Ferrari engine, those two drivers. I mean, I do think Ocon hasn't shown the potential he had when he first started.
Yes.
But Behrman, outstanding, and he's going to get points this season. He will get points this season. I was shocked that you put them down in 7th.
I know. I feel guilty because I love Haas. I've got a soft spot for Haas. It's just, I know. I was trying to be realistic, and then I thought, well, who do I drop from there to move Haas upwards? And I really wasn't sure. And my next 3 with Haas, and I'm not going to say the other 2. They're the 3 that I was really struggling to place.
Interchanging,
I just couldn't.
So
but Haas for me.
I went for Racing Bulls. Now I know it's going to have the same engine as the Red Bull, obviously, and that Ford Red Bull powertrain looks really good. It does.
Yes.
My question mark on Racing Bulls is the driver lineup.
Yes, I get that.
Lawson showed so much promise when he was given his first little go, but I don't think he's lived up to it. Last season was very hit and miss, and we just don't know with Arvid Lindblad. He's a rookie. It's going to be. True. I mean, with him being a rookie, he could just adapt to the car really, really well. but then he's got to learn to race rubbing shoulders with F1 drivers. And I think it won't be the engine that lets them down. It may just be the drivers.
For me, Lawson, I quite like Lawson. Thought he showed a lot of promise when he started. I don't think it helped him being kicked out of the Red Bull seat so quickly. No. That can't have done anything good for his confidence. And we have seen some good performances out of Lawson. Lindblad, I don't know. I really don't know. But some of the drivers have said that these cars feel more like F2 cars to drive. So the fact that he's just come from there, will that help?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. It's the great unknown, isn't it, that one?
Yeah, that is the way the question mark is. I do think,
yes,
like I say, Lawson showed great promise, and his confidence had to have been knocked. Couple of races in the car, and you get kicked. Maybe he's just taking a bit of time to find his form again. Racing Bulls obviously see something in him still. The whole Red Bull driver program still see something in him. It's not that he's a bad driver. Yeah. It's just I think he needs to get consistent.
Agreed.
But, yeah, and then I put Haas in 6th.
Do you know what? I can't argue with it. I might be completely wrong, but I can't argue with it.
But here's the thing: I don't know where I was being hopeful with my 5th. Okay. But I won't go into. Well, obviously, won't go into that one yet. But because I think that Haas with that Ferrari engine, the gearbox, that driver lineup, I think it's solid. I think
that's fair enough. Can't argue with it.
It's one of the stronger mid-team driver lineups.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the stronger mid-table cars. Which is brilliant for a team that was in Cadillac's position,
of course,
just a handful of years ago. So they've made great progress, and just shows where Cadillac could be if they take the right steps over the next few seasons.
Of course.
But yeah, I went 6th for Haas, and I might have put them in 5th. It was like, I was kind of rolling between the two, but.
See, now I think my 6th and 5th I would probably swap around now, but I'm going to stick with it because I said that I would. So my 6th is Williams.
Yeah.
All right, they haven't had the best start with missing the shakedown and everything, but I do believe the amount of work that's been done behind the scenes at Williams, and then having that great Mercedes engine, which does look very strong this year, and a good driver lineup as well. Sainz and Albon, it's a good driver lineup. And they shown last year just what they could do with that Williams. And they haven't even been concentrating on the 2025 car. It was always about 2026. So I've got high hopes. I could have put them up to 5th, but I thought I'd play it safe and say 6th. But I would love to see them higher than that. I would love to, as I'm sure you would as well. But I've got high hopes for Williams, but I was playing it a little bit safe. Yeah. Yeah.
And that brings us to 5th, and that's where I put Williams. But I think I think that was the hopeful. I think that was just the hopeful. Like, I personally, I'd want them to pip Haas, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if they will, because we haven't seen much of that car start to the scene. Again, one of the stronger lineups when you're looking at the mid-teams. Sainz is phenomenal. Albon, we know he can have his days. He really can. And I just think, like we've said so many times, when you're looking at that team spirit at Williams at the moment, you can't buy that. You can't buy it.
No.
So it's more of a hopeful that they'll finish 5th, but they could possibly finish 6th behind Haas, and I wouldn't be mad either way.
No, not at all. Yeah. No, you see, I went for Racing Bulls, which is an utter gamble. But I think seeing how strong that Red Bull power unit was, I just think, with the Red Bull power unit being quite strong, the car looked good on the track. It looked very stable, looked reliable. It looked pretty quick as well, to be fair. And then I think the driver lineup isn't that bad, but like we said, Lindblad's the unknown. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
He could be utterly rubbish. We have no idea. I hope not. But so I've gone fifth place Racing Bulls. And shock horror, me and you both agree on fourth.
We do.
And it's McLaren. Yeah. I'm sorry, they've had their day. Move aside. And do you know what? The daft thing is, this isn't like a spite thing. I purely think they'll have taken their eye off the ball. Only because in recent times, at the start of a new regulation, McLaren have always missed the mark. When we saw it in the past 2 years with McLaren, they were coming towards the end of a regulation. And so they were just improving on an already good car.
Yeah.
Whereas now going straight back into the unknown, I just think they'll miss the mark for the first year of these new regulations, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think the pre-season testing showed to me they were just a step behind. Not much.
Yeah.
But just a step behind. Who we consider to be the top three teams. I think you're right. They've got this tendency at the start of new regs to just be off the pace.
Yeah.
And I don't think the pre-season stuff did anything to convince me otherwise.
No, and the other side of that is as well, it's not like they haven't got a great driver lineup. They've got one of the strongest.
Yes.
I'm putting that not down to the drivers, but down to the car more than anything. I think the car will miss the mark. Yeah. It's not that I think the drivers are going to suddenly fall off a cliff. It's not like that. I just think they'll have missed it ever so slightly.
Yeah, I think
ever so slightly.
I think you're right. And
in fact, actually, me and you agree on our entire top four.
I was about to say, and the agreement even continues into third.
And bear in mind, we didn't sit there and talk this through. We literally just sent each other our lists.
Yeah.
So neither of us had any sort of discussion on, hey, who do you think will finish in fourth? We just sent each other our lists, and it just happens that the top four we completely agree on.
Yeah.
So go on then. Who's in third?
Red Bull.
It is.
I think the power unit, the engine's fantastic. I think it's going to be quick. I think Max will get the majority of their constructors' points.
Yeah.
I do think Hadjar will pick some up, but he will be the kind of weak link. Not that he'll be weak, just to be clear. But when it comes to like looking at drivers scoring like consistently and getting up there with the big points, it's really going to push the constructors forward. I think he'll be very good. I think he'll be consistent. I think he'll get points. It's not going to be another Max and Tsunoda. It's not going to be that at all. No. I just think the next two teams will collectively outscore Red Bull.
Agreed.
If Max had any help last season, they might have won the constructors. You just never know. You know what I mean?
I get that.
But that's kind of why I went with third.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think Hadjar will just take a bit longer to get used to the car than Max will. And I think Max has got that advantage in the fact that you can put Max in any car and he will get the most out of it as quickly as possible. He's just got that mentality behind him. And we've seen it when he does races around on the Nordschleife and things like that. It's cars that he's never driven before. And within 2 or 3 laps, he's up at pace. He's pushing it further than maybe other drivers would. And so I just think Hadjar will be that little bit more behind. But then again, I don't know, he might surprise us because Hadjar has got that. He's got that mentality, hasn't he? He's got the same sort of mentality the way Max has, especially when it's down to the PR. And it's like,
I love that.
Why are you even interviewing me? What's the point? Do you know what I mean? What is the point? And I love that. And if he's got the attitude on track, very sort of, why are you asking me? I'm just cracking on. That'll be good to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know he's not afraid to try and push a car to its limit.
No.
Because he's pushed it beyond the limit a couple of times.
He has.
So we know he's not afraid to do that, and he will look for those boundaries. Yeah. I don't think he'll be weak in any way. Like I say, he'll just be, when it comes to the driver pairings for each of the top 4 teams, for example, I just think he might not get as many points as the rest, which will just dent Red Bull's chances of hitting that Constructors Championship.
Yeah. Now then, because we're on to the top 2, we may as well announce the top 2 together.
Yeah, although I don't have that as one slide to show on the thing.
Okay, then let's just go with second place. I don't want to ruin your slideshow. Let's not do that.
Yeah. Okay. Mercedes.
Yeah. Now, you see, this is the same sort of thing with Red Bull, I think, in the fact that I think Russell will be the stronger driver. Antonelli will take slightly longer to get used to it.
Yeah.
But I think with the Mercedes power unit, from what we've heard, with having the extra power, if it has got it, it might. We don't know until we finally see it in the race how that performs. I just think Mercedes might have a slight edge over the Red Bull. But Antonelli will take longer to get used to that than Russell will. We saw that a little bit in testing. He wasn't quite as confident in the car. So, yeah, but Mercedes have got looks like a very strong car this year. Yeah. Very strong.
Totally agree with what you say about the drivers. Totally agree with it. The thing with Mercedes is they've got potentially 2 future world champions on their hand there. I think Kimi is phenomenally talented. He's just taking a little bit of time quick getting used to this. Russell, whether you like him or loathe him, he's a brilliant driver. And given the right car, you'll take that. What influenced my decision to put them in to second was we'll talk about it in the news change, but the upcoming rule change. And me thinking that could potentially impact the second half of the season. So I think the Mercedes might score heavy in the first half of the season. And then may taper off, but they'll have scored enough to be up there.
Yes, of course, yeah. I get where you're coming from. Yes.
So yeah, that was what I was. They were put. Obviously, I'm a Mercedes fan. I wanted to put them at the summit, but I do think that actually the one we both agree with, bizarrely, considering we think that they can put a twig in their own spokes more often than not.
It's Ferrari for both of us.
Yeah,
it is. And do you know what? Oh, it's hard because I really struggle to put that down. Because Ferrari look like they've got a brilliant car. It looks like they've got a great engine this year. Looks like they've got a great car. They've thought of stuff other people haven't with the extra, diffuser extension on the back. They've got the upside down wing that looks like a rotisserie chicken. They've got all sorts. And I just think the car looks phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And when you look at driver lineups, I mean, Leclerc and Hamilton, there's nothing like that on the rest of the grid. There just isn't. No. It isn't. Because it's the same when I said about McLaren before. It's nothing against the drivers. They've got an amazing driver lineup. Lando and Piastri, great driver lineup. Yeah. But Leclerc, for me, will be a world champion. Hamilton, obviously, already a 7-time world champion. Yeah. Brilliant driver. I just think if that Ferrari is as good as it looks, they will score heavily, and I think they will win the constructors for me. That's what made it go through my head anyway.
Yeah, I think in spite of whatever issues they may have on the pit wall, if that car is as good as it looked, those two will drag it to big points.
Yes,
and they'll be able to recover better from the screw ups that may come from the pit wall. And I think you're right with the driver lineup. Like Leclerc he's looked a bit like a beaten dog the last couple of seasons.
He has, yeah.
But he is one of the few drivers that can really push Max.
He is.
That can really have Max kind of guessing himself, going into corners and overtakes and things like that.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that I think both drivers that can do that are Lewis and Charles. And people may disagree with me here, and that's fine. This is what discussion's all about. But I think a 95% Lewis is better than 95% of the grid. So Lewis doesn't even need to be the top of his game to be getting in big points. But if he does find himself back at the top of the game, and that car's that good, people need to be worried. And it could end up being a two-dog fight just between Ferraris. It's. I mean, I'm hoping Lewis is fighting, obviously, but yeah, I think they're both good enough to pull that across the line, even if the pit wall isn't helping them. And that's what kind of influenced my decision there, if that car is that good, because it looked so good in pre-season.
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. So then, that rounds off our constructors, doesn't it?
It does. Do let us know if you're listening. Do let us know in the chat. What is your constructors? Do you agree, disagree? Do you think we're talking crazy?
Even if you only want to guess the top 3, top 5, whatever you want. If you want to give us your full top 10, top 11, sorry, I keep forgetting there's 11 teams. If you want to give us the full 11, please do. These are our guesses, but we are keeping these predictions. These are our predictions for the whole season. We can't change it halfway through. We're not going to change it after the first race on Sunday. That's not the way it works. We are fully committed to these, regardless of just how wrong we are. Because we've been wrong before.
We might do like mid-season break and like look at them back and go like, how confident are we that this is going to be the way? But we can't change them.
No, I might just have to print this out and dry my tears with it. But yeah, these will be our predictions.
I was so surprised though that we picked the same 4 in the same order. I figured we'd get the same top 4, but I didn't realise that we were both thinking roughly the same, like, in terms of the actual order of them.
No.
That shocked me. That did shock me.
And the crazy thing is, we've only got 2 the same in the drivers.
Yes.
So, shall we move on to the drivers?
Yeah. So, just so you know, we're not doing all 22 drivers. We're doing our top 10. So, because otherwise we'd be here all day.
We would.
But 10th, I went with Ollie Behrman in the Haas.
You did. Yeah. And to be fair, when you said that, I thought, it's not a bad shout, man. Yeah, you did. And do you know what? I can't argue with that. I think that's a good prediction. Yeah. I can completely understand why you've done that.
Yeah. Nearly put him one step up, but I think it'll be close between who I've got one above him. But I just think what he showed us, what he could do last season. And again, Ferrari powered Haas. That guy, again, talk about potential future world champions.
Yeah,
I've got hopes. I've got high hopes for him. He won't be in the Haas seat for long.
No,
I don't think.
No. My 10th position was Hulkenberg. Yeah, and do you know what? I'm not sure if I'm still riding on the high from seeing him on the podium last year. He is a good driver, and he's consistent, and he can read an awful lot of the rookie drivers, and he can see where they're going to go, what they're going to do, and what mistake they're about to make. And so I think the only reason Hulkenberg doesn't finish higher up is because he's not in the best car. I think if they put him in a decent car, we would see him continuously finish higher up.
Yeah.
But I just think that last year, after he got on that podium, you could see just how much more confidence it gave him as a driver as the season went on. And so I just think, for me, 10th position now, I thought, I'd really love to see Hulkenberg in the top 10. So I couldn't help myself.
I mean, when you think about drivers who can adapt,
yes, definitely.
He's one of them. You think like a couple of seasons back, he jumped into 2 different race cars, 2 different F1 cars for 2 different teams, which meant he had to learn 2 different wheels, 2 different engine mappings, all of that, and he performed both weekends. Yeah, I mean, he'll be one of the ones that adapts to it. Top 10, I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
But I think it'll just be out of reach. Maybe 11th.
I understand that. But 9th position, we actually agree on.
We do.
And I'd love to see him higher, but I think 9th is fair.
Yeah.
So we both went with Sainz.
And,
who knows where that Williams is going to help Sainz get to. But Sainz has always been a good driver, and I was always gutted for him, when he was sort of kicked out of Ferrari, out of his seat, because he was performing really well when he was at Ferrari. And he's certainly been getting the best out of that Williams even last season. All right, he's had his mistakes and things like that, but given the opportunity, he performs well.
Yeah, when you look at drivers and teams, and it's no disrespect to teams and things like that, no disrespect to Williams as well, because I love Williams, always have. But Sainz is too good for Williams. He's too good for a mid-table team.
I get that.
He would not look out of place in any of the top 4. He is that good, and I think it's such a shame that he finds himself kind of tumbling. For some reason, he's always overlooked against the other driver, even if he's outperforming the other driver. At McLaren, when he was outperforming Lando, he was overlooked because Lando's McLaren's project. When he was at Ferrari and he was outperforming Charles Leclerc, he was overlooked because Leclerc's Ferrari's project. And then Lewis was brought, and even when he's outperforming the drivers, he's just overlooked, and he seems to then tumble down. And I think it's such a shame. He's found a good seat at Williams, where he seems to be very respected and very kind of highly thought of, which is great.
Yeah,
and if he's given a good car, he showed last season. He'll grab points.
Yeah, I think you're completely right there. With the driver lineup, especially Sainz being at Williams. I think what gives me hope there is that Sainz did have a choice of other higher up teams, but he chose Williams because he saw what they were aiming for and what they had, in the skunk works, looking, behind the scenes. Yeah. And so it makes me think Sainz knows how good he is. He knows he's not daft. He knew that he was outperforming Charles Leclerc. Yeah. So to make that move off his own back, it's not like he was kicked out of a seat and he had no seat for a year, so he had no choice. He chose that move, and it gives me hope that, he saw something really special, which he said himself in interviews. And I hope you're right. And I hope to see Sainz finish higher than that. But 9th, I thought was fair for the first year of this new regulation with the Williams.
Definitely. I'd love to see it higher, but I can't see it higher. I can't. Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah. That one was one of the ones I was like, okay, we've agreed on something there. So then we move up to 8th, and we agree again.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So just so if you were paying attention before, everyone, beyond this point, we do not agree.
Not in the slightest. No.
Hadjar for 8th.
Yeah.
He'll score points. He will score points.
He will.
I just don't think it'll be consistent enough to have him higher. That's the only reason. My only reasoning for putting him there. When you compare him to the other 7 drivers in the seats that are likely to score. Yeah,
I mean, I hope finally even if it's not quite at the beginning of the season, but say after the summer break and as they go on, that Hadjar can be the teammate they've always wanted for Max to have, where they can both be scoring points consistently higher up to try and get Red Bull back to that constructors title, because that's where they want to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's better for the team overall. It's not just a case of, drivers' championship is fantastic, but if you can win the drivers and the constructors, even better, or whatever. So I think eighth's a good position for Hadjar if he can achieve that this year. If he can do better, good on him.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like we've had a slight issue, and Mark has left the chat. He's got two of me for a moment, folks. Hey, there we go. He's back. We had double Ray for a second then.
Apologies about that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened. I was just sat here.
You got booted from the Discord for a second for some reason. Apologies.
Okay. You didn't want to talk to me anymore.
Apologies for the nightmares you're all going to get for seeing two of me in the different things. Hadjar. Yeah, like I say, I think that's the reason having Hadjar down in 8th is why I've got Red Bull down in like 3rd in the championship.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, completely agree.
And there's nothing like thingy to say about it. It's just he'll do well.
Yeah.
And in 7th, this is where we start to get in there. We're not agreeing. We're not getting on with each other.
Who have you gone with?
I've gone with Antonelli. Again,
okay.
Again, it's nothing like negative. He's going to score points. He's going to be up there. It's the consistency again. I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Of all the young drivers on the grid,
yeah,
you'd want Kibby on your team if you were looking for a young driver. I think.
I get that.
It's just the consistency again. I think.
Yeah.
He's not going to be fighting for a podium all the time. He might be like 5th, 6th, 7th.
Yeah.
He might be in and around, but he's not going to score enough to kind of be worrying those who are going for the title, I don't think.
Yeah. For me, 7th is Lando.
Huge fall from
He's
Chris.
had it now. Yeah, but he's had it now. The thing for me, it's nothing against Lando, but Lando is not. I've got to think about how I word this. Lando is not a great driver. Lando won last year because he had the fastest car. That is all. I just don't think he's a great driver. And I don't think he can adapt very quickly. When it's a new car and new regulations, he's always been nowhere to be found. He doesn't adapt quickly. When he's got a stable, well-handling car, he's great. This does not look like that. That's just the way I see it.
No,
it's the way I've always seen it. When everyone's always said to me, Lando will be a future world champion, I've always thought, but will he? Really? How? I've never seen it.
Yeah.
And I didn't say it was going to happen last year. It was only because he was so far ahead on points. I thought, he's going to be world champion here. When Piastri started to fall off, I thought, all right, he's got it. But I didn't think it was like, if Piastri hadn't have fallen off that performance curve halfway through the season, I thought it was going to be a fight to the death. And it was not going to be Lando that came out on top of that.
See, I think he is a good driver. I think he's a great driver. You look back to when Lewis was trying to hunt him down and get past him, and Lewis like over the radio going, "This guy's good." Like his defending, his car positioning, everything was just on point, and even Lewis is in the car over the radio to his pit wall going, "This guy's good." I think you got like a 7-time world champion kind of going, "Hey, this boy's got something." He's got something. I think. I think he's, and I do think he's a good driver. He can race wheel to wheel. He can defend. Did he win just in a faster car last season? Yes. Got to concede that. But I do think he's a good driver. The strongest on the grid? No. but I do think he's top 5 in terms of his ability in wheel to wheel and his actual driving.
Yeah, no, you're wrong. I'm sorry. It's not. I'm not saying he's a bad driver. He's not a bad driver. I'm not saying he's not good. I just don't think he's not great at changing to new scenarios.
Adapting.
I think I think if the car is consistently the same with a couple of little tweaks here and there, he's great. He can handle it, no problem. And his positioning on track and everything is on point, no problem. But I think it's more when the cars, especially when you see the cars this year, and they look very unsettled, very tail happy. They've got an awful lot of understeer. They seem to be locking the wheels an awful lot and everything. That's not his area.
Right.
I just don't see him handling that. I really don't.
No, that's fair. It's fair. I mean,
it's not that I don't want him to perform. Yeah. I do, but I just can't see it myself. Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's completely fair. I like the fact that we're disagreeing as we kind of work our way through these. I love it. I absolutely love it. I wouldn't have thought you'd have had Norris that far down though. If I'm honest, but I knew you'd kind of maybe not put him anywhere near the top. But
I think part of the problem is now he's not really. I wouldn't class Lando as an F1 driver now. He's more just of a SAS PR bloke now. I think the problem is, for me, when he was having all the close battles, not even just last year, but even in the season before, every time he had to drive against Max, even if it was completely clean, both of them and all that, at the end of every single race, oh, well, you know what happens when you come against Max? You'd either let him through or you crash, and you're like, that's not true. Even Piastri was pulling faces at that. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you had that battle where it was Hamilton and Max, it'd be, oh man, that was some hard racing today, that. And it's almost like, instead of just giving the reason, like, do you know what, I could have done a little bit better today, but some great racing, it's almost like you've got to blame it on somebody else of why you perform badly. And I just think if you're really a great driver and you're a world champion, you can admit when you've been wrong, and you can say, I could have performed a little bit better there, or we just didn't have it today, or whatever. But to keep blaming it on another driver is sad.
I'm probably going to say something you don't like here.
Go for it.
I get what you're saying completely, but Max kind of had the same attitude a while back.
Yeah, to a degree.
And it was only once he got, like, you know, a championship under his belt that he started to kind of level and kind of be like, yeah, all right, I maybe was in the wrongs there, maybe, but he was very much like, well, you know, I didn't do anything wrong. You're like, well, you clearly did. You just took somebody out on it. Yeah. No, I didn't do it.
What I mean by that is not necessarily when they've had like come-ins together or, you know, one person's been driven off track. I just mean when it's generally clean racing.
Yeah.
And you haven't won that position, and, you know, so you finished behind your rival. That's what I mean. Not when it's been like, oh well, I did nothing wrong. I don't mean that.
Yeah, okay.
I just mean if you finished a position down from the other person that is your rival who you're fighting the championship for, the excuse cannot be a ridiculous excuse. It's just got to be, do you know what? I didn't perform well enough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They had me on that.
When drivers come together, yes, Max would never admit to fault. No problem. No problem at all. I'm not even going to try and deny that because I can't. That's rubbish. But no, I just mean when it's general clean racing, he could never admit when he hadn't performed.
Yeah, I get it.
There was always an excuse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I probably misheard a little bit on the thingy. Yeah,
no, that's all right. No, it's fine.
I'm with you on that. So 6th, we switched around.
We did.
We switched. We did.
We did. Yeah, I had Antonelli and you had Norris. We did. We switched that around.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got high hopes there, lad. I tell you. It's no. Do you know what? I think I was toying with Antonelli and Lando, and we nearly got them the same way, purely because Antonelli is a good driver, but it's the same again. It's how quick will he adapt? That's the unknown, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's got so much potential, Antonelli. And I just think when he gets it right, he gets it very right.
Yeah.
But when it's wrong, at the moment, it's so very wrong. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. You think back to Netherlands, like completely taken out Charles.
Yeah, I think the reason I put him higher than Lando was because of how strong that Mercedes looked compared to the McLaren. That's the only reason those two are the other way round.
Yeah.
In my estimation.
I think with me, it'd be Lando's consistency that puts him above Antonelli. And I just think that consistency will score him the points that he needs, but I think other drivers have got points to prove this season.
That's fair enough.
Which is why I've kind of, I think, and part of me worries hearing some of Lando's comments that maybe he's going to take his foot off the accelerator a little bit this season. Like he's got the championship, he's got his drivers' championship, and you're hearing his comments, and it's like, oh, I'm just playing games in the media kind of thing, and I'm like, where's your head at?
Yeah,
where's your head at right now? Because your head should be like, if you listen to anyone else, it's we've got a good car, hopeful, full steam ahead, and he's just playing like silly games in the media. I just worry a mindset thing with him. I would have hoped he would have got that and at the off season kind of gone, oh right, number one under the belt. Yeah, time to push on. But there's something about his mentality right now and the way he's been approaching the media and stuff that I don't think his head's where it needs to be.
Agreed.
To be pushing on, so that's why I've got him down in sixth. I think.
Yeah. So in fifth, we are totally different.
Yes.
Totally different. Our top five is completely off. But in fifth position, I've gone for Hamilton. And do you know what? I was toying putting him higher up because Hamilton, as much as Hamilton's never been one of my favourite drivers, but I will never deny Hamilton is an incredible driver. I will never deny that. I've just never really been a fan. I was never a Mercedes fan, so I've never really sort of gone, ooh, I love Hamilton. Do you know what I mean? But an incredible driver. And I think with the Ferrari this year, I think he could do great things. But it just seems like there's been such a massive miscommunication between Hamilton and Ferrari. And we did see that years ago with Leclerc as well. But then it seems as though once Leclerc's had his really frustrating moments, it's almost as though they've become a little family. So Leclerc now can air his frustrations, but he knows where and when to do it. And he's now getting somewhere with the team, if that makes sense. But Hamilton having such a rough time with his race engineer and everything, and then with the weird strategy calls of Ferrari, I just think they might have a great car, but those little niggles will not have disappeared just overnight for this season. So I think he will struggle more than Leclerc will. So that's why I've gone for him in fifth.
Yeah. So I can see. I think maybe I've been a bit hopeful with where I put him, but given the because you bang on the money with the issues and things like that, they're not going to have disappeared overnight and stuff.
No.
For fifth, for me, I put Piastri.
Yes.
Mainly because again, I just think that McLaren's not the strongest. It's the weak. I think it's the weakest out of the top four. But I do think Piastri will have a point to prove, and not just.
Oh yes.
Not just given last season, but I think he's going to want to put himself in the shop window.
Definitely.
He's going to want to make a statement to McLaren, and then kind of say bye to McLaren.
Yeah, I get you.
So And we know when he's on form.
Oh, yes.
I was worried for him last year because we saw him get rattled. And we hadn't seen him get rattled in his whole time. And
No.
He just seems to have come back pre-season, just seems to have kind of centered himself a bit. And
I
think
agree.
we might just see that very level-headed, very calm, very cold, calculated. I'm just here to put on a show and show you guys that you bet on the wrong horse last season.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think Piastri this year will be... last year he was like the fella that headed the Senate in Star Wars. This year he'll come back as the Emperor, and he'll have his cloak, and he'll more power.
Well, except it's quite limited power because of the batteries, but limited power.
Limited power. But completely. I can't argue where you put Piastri. To be fair, I completely understand it. No argument with that one.
If I thought the McLaren was stronger, he'd have been higher. But I just don't think it's got it.
I was thinking along the same lines, but that's why I put Piastri in fourth.
Yeah.
Because I just thought, because he's got a point to prove, I almost feel as though he will drive that McLaren to its absolute limit. And so he might be able to just get that bit more out of it. And Piastri is a great driver. I just think with a few things that happened last year, a couple of mistakes that cost him a race here and there, and then it was the same at a couple of races when we saw it with papaya rules and things. And as soon as that radio call came up, it was almost as though he gave up and just went, let's just get to the checkered flags, boys. Do you know what I mean? So I think this year, if he can get out ahead in the points over his teammate, there are no papaya rules. There's no such thing. You can't do that anymore. And I think that's why I put him in fourth. I think proving his point, he'll do well.
It's one of those. It's a solid thing that I couldn't find a point to say there's no reason he couldn't finish.
No.
So I think you're completely right. I do worry about papaya rules coming in this season though, because they have said they're being adapted, not got rid of and torn up and burnt on a higher like they should be. But I
agree.
I went for Russell.
You did.
And if it wasn't for the rule change coming in June, I'd have put him much higher, I think. We'll say much higher, but I'd have put him higher. I think we don't know how this rule change is coming. We'll discuss it in the news bit, but we don't know how much it's going to impact the Mercedes in the second half of the season. I think he'll bag a load of points at the start of the season.
Yeah.
But then I think he may start to struggle second half of the season. But the points he's already bagged will keep him in the fight.
Yeah.
To a point. He's a great driver, and if he's got a good car underneath him, and if the rule change doesn't change anything on Mercedes, I could be very wrong.
Oh yeah.
Very, very wrong, and I'd put my hands up and say that now. But I think the likelihood is that it will, and we'll see a bit of a fall off in the second half of the season.
Fair enough. I can completely understand where you're coming from on that one. I'm not sure how much the rule change will affect Mercedes. It all depends, doesn't it? Because we know nothing at the moment. Part of the problem is, like the first day of testing, the Red Bull went out, set the fastest time, and it looked like an absolute rocket. And as soon as everyone said, don't need to worry about Mercedes engine, have you seen that Red Bull? The Red Bull lost all its pace. It was almost as though they went, do us a favour, turn that down, stop showing it off. Do you know what I mean? So it was hard to tell. The Mercedes, it depends. Obviously, they brought in, for whoever doesn't know, they brought in a new testing rule. So was it from the 1st of June?
1st of June,
It'll be. So from the 1st of June, they will now perform the compression ratio test at room temperature, and they'll also do it at 135, was it, degrees?
130. 130, I think.
Yeah. So obviously when the engine's hot. Now, depending on, I don't know whether that's their standard running temperature. Is it higher than that? It might be fine at that temperature. I don't know. That's the thing, isn't it? So here you go. Ray will look that up for us now.
Yeah.
What's the standard running temperature? 500 degrees. So it depends how much it affects them. They might pass that test and it might be fine. The problem is there's too many unknowns in the fact that for all we know, they might have been really clever with it and it might have a higher compression ratio, but is it still just as reliable? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, well, it typically runs at coolant temperatures between 100 degrees and 130 degrees. But peak internal temps can reach as high as... Yeah. That can't be right. 2,600?
No.
That can't be right.
No. It'd be a puddle.
Yeah.
That literally cannot
be right. I think
we'll look into that for another.
We'll look into it
for another episode.
Because that's unless that's Fahrenheit, but it's laying it off as Celsius. But that's
no.
Yeah. Before leaving the garage, engines are preheated to around 80 degrees C.
Right.
By circulating hot oil, but then peak internal temps inside the cylinders can reach. I wonder if that can reach 2, and it's just put a 2 instead of TO. 600 degrees C.
Right.
That would be my guess. Because then exhaust temps can run as high as 950.
Okay.
We'll look into it for next time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll look into that because that sounds a bit extreme.
It does.
But we will look into that. But yeah, it all depends on that Mercedes engine. And to be honest, yeah, there's so many different factors in it. But I can completely understand where you've gone with Russell in fourth.
Yeah.
So for me, in third place, it's Leclerc. And I think more than anything, I just think that Ferrari does look fast. And Leclerc is an incredible driver. But it's the same thing as sort of mentioned before. I think Mercedes, what am I talking about? I think Ferrari will be the downfall. The car could be the best car on the grid, but it's their bad strategy calls. It's their lack of information for the drivers. If they sort that out, I apologise. They could finish a lot higher. But Leclerc in third for me. And I think that'll only be Ferrari's fault, not Leclerc's.
Yeah. No, I think, yeah, we've said this so many times with Ferrari strategy.
Yeah.
I think I kind of done mine kind of based on pre-season and with a kind of like a hoping they've tweaked enough.
Yes, I get that.
But I think Lewis in third for me. So we've both got Ferrari drivers in third for at least that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that'll come down to what you said earlier regarding the communication between... Because he's going to have to develop a whole new relationship with a whole new race engineer. Again,
have they even named them yet?
I haven't seen it, if they have.
Okay, so it hasn't been announced if they have.
If we've missed it, do put it in the chat, in the comments. I nearly said chatter. In the comments below for us. Last I heard, they were looking at the guy from McLaren who was going to be coming over. But then that kind of went quiet.
Yeah.
But I think, it'll be developing that relationship will be Lewis's disadvantage this season. If that car's as good as it looks, he's going to score points. He's going to score big points, but there may be times in the season where his engineer can't read his tone. He can't read his engineer's tone.
Yes,
there's misinformation given, and that's when like the slip-ups happen. I think that'll be why he doesn't ultimately finish in the top two for me. But like you said, a lot depends on that Ferrari pit wall.
course. Yeah. Completely agree.
That's a huge thing for both the Ferrari drivers.
Yeah.
We've said this so many times. They can be given the best car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wish I could put him higher because obviously I'm a Hamilton fan, but I think that's where.
Of course. Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
That's where I could see him potentially finishing the season.
Yeah.
And then we get to second.
Yeah.
And
go on then.
I went with Max in second.
You did.
I think it might be another season of just missing out on him
Yeah.
I think
I completely understand that. Yeah.
The Red Bulls
I think
great car. Max, best driver on the grid.
Yeah.
But it might just be a smidgen too much for him again this season. That's
fair enough. I completely understand why you've done that. To be fair, I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah, I can't disagree with it in the slightest.
Yeah.
For my second place, I've gone for Russell, and that's I'm not one of these people that thinks Russell's going to be a world champion. I'm not.
Okay.
I think he's a great driver. But I think he'll be like one of those great drivers that always comes close but never quite gets there. Not because he doesn't deserve it. I just think he's one of those drivers that will always just be pipped to the World Championship. And that's no offence to Russell at all. It's not saying he's going to put in bad performances or anything like that. I just think he'll always be slightly shy, and he'll be one of those drivers that everyone says, I always thought he was going to be a world champion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not wishing that for him in the slightest. He's a good driver. And I've made no bones about it. I always preferred Russell when he was at Williams. I thought he was a lot more down to earth than when he's at Mercedes. But I'm not faulting his driving. His driving's on point completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think sometimes he can take, if he's in a good position, he can take the podium and the win a little bit for granted, and he'll take too many risks because he thinks he's got it in the bag already, or as he put it in one of them, I've been forecast a podium.
Yeah,
no one's forecast a podium. It's not the way it works. It's not the weather. It's not even forecast rain.
I think you're right. I think his judgment lets him down sometimes.
Yeah,
like if typically it's when the other car is only a couple of seconds ahead, and like you say,
yes,
he starts rolling the dice a little bit.
That's it. Yeah,
a little bit too close to the wall, a little too much curb here, and just trying to get more out rather than going like just keep it clean and consistent. If I've got the speed, I'm going to pull them in. It's like
that's what I mean.
It's like if he can see the other guy's gearbox, it's like a red rag to a bull.
Yes. That's it.
And then he can kind of get a little bit in his own head with it.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying about maybe him being like just always picked, because like F1 history is littered with people who should have been world champion but never were.
Of course it is.
You know, in recent years, you think that Danny Rick.
Exactly.
He should have been a world champion at some point. He just didn't.
Exactly.
You know, go back 20 years, David Coulthard should have been a world champion, just wasn't.
Yeah.
It's history of F1 is littered with those kind of drivers.
Yeah. That's it. And I always feel so sorry for those drivers as well. But it's unfortunately there's been so many over the years, because otherwise they talk so much about these new drivers that are coming in and they go, they're the future world champion then. And well, if they're all going to be world champion, how long are we going to have to wait? I'm not being funny. They can't all be world champion. And I just think Russell's one of those fellas that, whilst a great driver, just won't quite make it to world champion. And that's, I hope I'm wrong in that, by the way. I just think, unfortunately, that's why I put him second.
Crazy thing about that is sometimes it's just timing.
Yeah, of course
like,
it is.
He moved to Mercedes as Mercedes were at the top of their game, and you're like, oh, hang on. He's got a shot, and then it just happens to be the time, and happens to be when Mercedes fell through the floor.
Yeah.
And would that have been his opportunity? You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think with Max though, like for me, with second, I think the Red Bull's a great car. Max undeniably the best driver, on the grid, and anyone who goes, "Oh, well, no, he's not," you're wrong. I my first place will explain. I think when I'm explaining my first place, will make it clear as to why. I think.
Whilst you're talking of Max, I may as well say my first place is Max.
Yeah.
And it's not just because I'm a Max fan, which I am.
Bias.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Hey, I can be biased if I want to. I can leave my friends behind. But the reason I've gone for Max is more because he missed out by 2 points last year, he'll partially be a little bit annoyed by that. As much as, don't get me wrong, Max has calmed down a lot in years gone by. And the way he's saying, doesn't matter to me whether I've got 4, 5, 6. What's it matter? I'm not bothered. I do believe him when he says that. But you wouldn't still be racing if you didn't want to win it. So I think the other side of that is, with these cars being a lot more to handle and a lot more to get your head round, I think Max will benefit from the fact that he does a lot outside F1. And if you put Max in any car, whether it's on the Nordschleife in a Ferrari or a Porsche or a Mercedes or anything, he is straight away quick and he is finding the limits of that car. And I just think when we saw him in testing and all the other drivers were going, hang on a minute, what's Max doing there? He's changing down to first where we're normally in second. Hang on a mo. And then all the other drivers try copying it as they go and things like that. I just think Max is going to be the quickest driver to adapt, I think, to these new regulations. He's just got that mentality about him in the fact that he will try things other drivers won't be trying just to get that little bit of extra performance. And the Red Bull did seem quick. So I think Max being the driver that he is, with the experience he has, not only in F1 but outside of it, I think he's in with a shot for this year. Yeah.
I get what you're saying about like just finishing like a couple of points off last season, but I think Max has got this ability that no other driver seems to have. It's just to hit reset.
Yeah,
I don't think
I get that.
I could be wrong, but I don't think that like he looks at last season and goes, "Oh, I've got a point now." I think he's just like end of season reset button, and it's almost like it's gone.
I get what you mean.
It's just not there anymore, and he's going to turn up and have fun. And if he's having fun and the car's quick, brilliant.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
If he's having fun and the car's just not quite there, I think in his head he's like, "This is still just fun."
Yeah.
Like I think that's. I don't think he operates in the I think Piastri thinks he's got a point to prove this season. I don't think Max has that. I think it's an absolute gift that he can just go, "Oh, reset button." All right. Well,
maybe
it's 2026. Almost like he does a memory wipe, and then it just like goes back to like factory settings, and his factory settings just happen to be a phenomenally fast driver.
I get that. Yeah,
and that Red Bull is fantastically quick. It did appear that way in pre-season. Obviously, were they playing games when they pulled it down? Were they just running really light in the first couple of sessions and at full strap mode? And but I think with my choice for first, I think Ferrari, that car was just consistently quick across all sessions, across both weeks. I think it looked so planted compared to the rest of the cars. We said this, it just looked like it was point and go. And Leclerc is phenomenally quick. The thing that would switch my kind of like Max and Leclerc there for me would be just comes down to that pit wall. We said this time and time again. If Ferrari have ironed that out, I honestly think this could be Leclerc's year. I would really want it to be Lewis's year, and to break the record for the most championships. But I think if actually they've got the car to do it, and as you said before, Leclerc's settled in there. He knows the culture. He's got that kind of that bond with everybody. And he knows his race engineer. He knows what's going on in Ferrari. If they've got that pit wall just ironed out, I think this could be his year with that car.
It could be,
and I think it's probably his best chance yet.
Yeah, and to be fair, I'd love to see Leclerc win a championship. I'd absolutely love it. His dream has always been, obviously, Drivers' Championship with Ferrari. And I think if he doesn't do it soon, he's going to get to the point where he thinks, do you know what, man, I'm leaving Ferrari. I'm going to be done with it. And he'll move to a team where he can achieve it.
Yeah.
And his life dream has always been Drivers' Championship with Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I would be so happy for him to do that. It would be great. It'd be great to see.
Yeah. And like say, last few years he's looked a bit like a beaten dog, and he's there because he needs to be. And
yes,
and
yeah, you
can see almost like joked about it in the past, with Stockholm syndrome and stuff like that. Like just I'm kind of getting on with me kidnappers now. It's great. But I think it just needs that something to click into place for them.
It does.
And
it does.
He's one of the best drivers on the grid on his day.
Yeah.
Leclerc, he really is. And I just hope they haven't given him a car capable of winning.
Yeah.
Only to, again, like I keep saying, keep putting that stick through the spokes.
Yeah.
And tripping themselves
completely.
up. It's a hopeful. I was very nearly like, yeah, Max is going to win it in that Red Bull because they're going to trip themselves up. But I'm kind of trying to give Ferrari that benefit of the doubt and look at the car and the driver.
I agree.
And say, just get it right and get him across the line.
See, I think if Leclerc can't do it, if the Ferrari is the fastest car this year and Leclerc can't pull it off because of the strategy calls at Ferrari, unfortunately, Leclerc will go down the same way I think Russell will, in the fact that he should have been a world champion, but he won't have been if he stays at Ferrari. And don't get me wrong, hopefully Ferrari, if they've got the fastest car this year, they have got it nailed and they will do their absolute best. Not only on the pit wall, but in the mechanics garage and everything in the pit stops. I do worry for Leclerc because he has looked so defeated in recent years. And at a top team like Ferrari, you shouldn't be having your drivers feel like that at all.
It's one of them. It's like, if you're Leclerc, how long do you hold on to that dream of winning at Ferrari? Because it could be like, just one more year. Just one more year. And before you know it, you're at the tail end of your F1 career. And you've given them 10 years.
Of course.
And all they've given you is excuses.
Yeah.
I really, like I say, I've tried to base mine on how the car looked and the driver. And just giving them that benefit of the doubt and hoping they get they get it exactly right. And if they don't, I totally agree. If they don't do it this year, Leclerc could be one of those also runs as well. I also think,
and that's a horrible thought, isn't it?
I also think it'll be the last season we see Lewis in the sport. I've said that before. So. I think he's done either way, but I think if it's more messing around,
without a doubt, so then they are our drivers and constructors rankings for the season. They are our predictions. We shall not be changing them.
No.
Might be crying over them, but we're not going to change them.
I'll be amazed if we've got like 50% right on either.
I think we'll be more wrong than we've ever been before.
Yeah.
But if obviously if anybody disagrees or agrees, please do let us know. Put it in the comments. Give us your list. We'd love to see it. We'd absolutely love to see it. And obviously, if you disagree with anything we've said about any of the drivers, give us your take on it. We're always up for discussion.
Yeah, and if you give us your list as well, we'll make copies of them, and then we'll be able to say at the end of the season, "Hey, you were closer than us," or "No, we were closer than you."
Oh yes.
So yeah, we will keep everybody's predictions together and go through them at the end of the season.
Definitely. So then, there hasn't been much news this week, but there has been a couple of pieces.
Yes.
So obviously, at the moment, with what's happening in the Middle East, they've said they're going to keep an eye on what's happening, and we'll look at the races. The first couple of races are Australia, Japan, and China.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it would normally be Bahrain and Qatar. Is that right?
Yes. So I do have the statement from
yes,
from President of the FIA, Mohammed bin Salem. Sorry. As President of the FIA, my thoughts of all those affected by recent events in the Middle East. We're deeply saddened by the loss of life and stand with families and communities impacted. At this moment of uncertainty, we hope for calm, safety, and swift return to stability. Dialogue and the protection of civilians must remain priorities. We're in close contact with our member clubs, championship promoters, teams, and colleagues on the ground as we monitor developments carefully and responsibly. Safety and well-being will guide our decisions as we assess the forthcoming events scheduled there for the FIA World Endurance Championships and the FIA Formula One World Championships. Our organisation is built on unity and shared purpose. That unity matters now more than ever. So, endurance and F1 could be impacted by the events going on in the Middle East.
I mean, that's the thing, because Pirelli was supposed to have a 2-day tyre testing this week, and that's been cancelled now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, as we get updates, we'll update everyone else. But at the moment, it's just a case of monitoring the situation, because they're not going to put people at risk. Because it's not just a case of the drivers and the teams; it's all of the fans that turn up on a normal weekend. It's 500,000 in attendance on a good weekend. Yeah. And that might not be feasible or safe. So if it's not safe, we're, as much as we love those tracks, we'd completely understand that.
Yeah. I think that takes precedence over sport, really.
Of course it does.
Than anything else.
Of course it does. Yes. The only other bit of news this week, or the only other bit that I found, was obviously last year, Monaco, they put up a two-lap
limit. Brilliant.
2-lap limits for the tyres. No, they put mandatory 2 pit stops into the race because they thought it would make it more exciting. It turns out it made it more boring than normal. So they've scrapped that for this year. It's now going to be, you're going to have to pit every lap. No, it's not. It's whatever you need, effectively. So if it's a 1-stop, 2-stop, whatever your strategy is, it works. Because they now know that the race is boring, so they're just going to let it be boring in whatever way you fancy.
Do you reckon part of it is like, well, the cars are slightly smaller now, so let's see how it plays out?
Yeah, but I'm sorry. When you say the cars are smaller, you're talking 4 inches.
I know.
It's not like it's now a go-kart. I mean, it's not going to turn into Mario Kart, is it? I mean, no.
That would spice it up endlessly. Just throwing bananas out the back and like firing like green turtle shells at each other. Yeah, part of me was wondering, are they like, oh, the cars are slightly smaller, let's see what happens? But like you say, it's not like they've kind of gone, oh, you can get 3 wide through some of the straights now.
No. No. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there is any way to make Monaco more exciting, because you can't do it artificially. It doesn't matter how many pit stops you put in. Last year was just ridiculous. It was so boring, to the point where, I mean, Russell cut across the chicane because he was that frustrated. And then when they came over the radio to mention it, he just started crying. You just think, what was the point in that? Yeah. There was no need. Do you know what I mean? They would be better off letting them all do qualifying, putting them on floats, and then just doing a parade for 50 laps. because they're never going to change position. So that's all they need. Just put them on floats. You can have the drivers waving at everyone. It'd be a lovely day.
Yeah. Like sandwiches to go around. Yeah. I'm kind of glad they got rid of the 2-stop mandatory. I wish they'd just get rid of the race, but I'm hoping that means that they're going to look at other stupid rule changes, like later on, like the mandatory 2-stoppers at where was it? 25 lap tire limit.
Qatar
was Qatar, wasn't it? Yeah. I'm kind of hoping they kind of get rid of that. Other news. So the big one, we kind of discussed this before, but the engine compression ratio test, that was put forward to a vote by all of the engine manufacturers. Interestingly, I think the FIA have tried to word this as, everyone was happy, but you kind of read between the lines. The FIA said some aspects of the amendments were concurrently approved unanimously by the Formula One power unit manufacturers. That would be Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Audi, and Honda. So some aspects of the amendments were concurrently approved unanimously.
Yes.
So not all, but they wouldn't go into details about which bits.
Right.
And that just covers the hot test and the cold test now, which we discussed before, which is where I think Mercedes might start falling off. They did say a significant effort has been invested in finding a solution to the topic of the compression ratio. This parameter, which is one of the key fundamental targets of these regulations, in order to attract newcomers to the sport, is limited in the regulations to 16-1, measured in cold conditions. FIA have worked to find a compromise solution which determines the compression ratio will be controlled in both hot and cold conditions from June 1st, 2026, and subsequently only the operating conditions 130 degrees from 2027 onwards.
Right. Okay.
So they're doing hot and cold, and then next season it's just hot.
Right.
So it's good that they've kind of quickly got to a solution about it, but did you imagine when you're talking about prize money?
Yeah.
Mercedes finish, say, second, third, wherever they're going to finish in the Constructors Championship, and they get a big bag of prize money, and it turns out for the first half of the season, they were running an engine that can't pass the test in the second half.
Yeah. What I don't understand, though, is, don't get me wrong, I think they've done it in a fair way. They couldn't do it before the start of the season. That's just ridiculous, especially since if what Mercedes is saying or have been saying is right, and the fact that they've been very open, they haven't tried hiding it. I think fair play. They've brought in a rule. They've said when they're going to bring the rule in from. That's all fine. But having said that, I think the whole thing for 2027, it's just going to be this. Why not just clarify the rule in its entirety the way it should have been this year? So you don't need to put in at what temperature it's going to be tested. Just state at all operating temperatures, the compression ratio must be 16-1.
We've said this how many times over the last few weeks?
No, I know. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And then it negates everything then.
Yeah.
It negates absolutely everything. Every single engine supplier would have to stick to it, regardless of what temperature they check the engine at. And then it's even Stevens. Do you know what I mean? To a degree, every engine's going to be slightly better than another one, and things like that.
Yeah.
But if you want to take away all the ifs, buts, and coconuts, that's it.
Yeah.
You know.
Interestingly enough, in the statement, they did say further evaluation and technical checks on energy management matters are ongoing. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, it had been raised about possibly elongating the deployment time of the batteries on straights. So you would have less energy for a longer period of time rather than a massive boost of energy for a short period. That was to basically stop the batteries from running out halfway down the straight. Looks like they haven't really come to a decision on that. They're just looking into it. So we may see a lot of that high deployment and then low energy levels at the end of straights.
The sad thing about this is they do reckon if they were to bring that in, they would be 1.5 to 2 seconds slower per lap. And you just think, what on earth is this regulation?
And they were already 2.5 seconds off the fastest pre-season test lap from last season. It's just weird.
We'll have to see on that one.
Yeah. Another bit of news that we found just before we went live as well was a change to qualifying. As we know, we're going to have 22 cars on track in Q1. Then we're going to have 16 in Q2 and the standard 10 in Q3. They have, for some strange reason, extended Q3 by 1 minute. So they're taking a minute off the time in between Q2 and Q3. So it's a shorter break. Adding that minute to Q3 when you have less cars on the track. So Q3 will now be 13 minutes instead of 12. I don't get that at all. Because you've got the standard 10 cars on track there. It's never been a problem with 12 minutes in the past.
No.
But you're going to have more cars at the start. Looking to build gaps to each other so that you can have clean laps. Why not shorten the gap between Q1 and Q2 by a minute, add that to Q1. So you've got more cars and more time. Shorten the gap between Q2 and Q3 by a minute, add that to Q2. You've still got more cars in those. I don't get the reasoning behind.
No, I don't understand that either.
Like let's give the fastest cars more time to prepare faster laps.
Yeah. Maybe they're expecting the cars to be that much slower. They need the extra couple of minutes. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll find out that all the sessions have been extended to 25 minutes next year.
That's it.
Yeah, I saw that before and I was like, oh, they're extending, and then I saw Q3 and I was just like, I don't.
No, I didn't understand
it in the slightest. So the way they put it, qualifying will remain an hour long, but the break between the final two parts of qualifying will be shortened by a minute.
Yeah.
Do you think like they thought it was the other way round? Like the rule makers were going, oh, Q3 is that the first one, and then you go up to Q1 because one's the best.
Yeah, I completely think that's what they've done. Yeah, yeah. They've had that much time off. They've forgotten which way round it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you say, it's the calm before the storm now. It's been a very slow news week.
Yes.
Little bits coming out from obviously Drive to Survive. Dropped. The only real significant bit I found from that was we haven't watched it, by the way, but just the snippets that have come through. With interview with Christine Horner, and he was asked about him leaving, and obviously a lot of people put it on the Verstappens, saying they kind of worked and got him ousted. And no, he made no bones about the fact that Jos Verstappen doesn't like him.
Yeah,
but he firmly believes it had nothing to do with the Verstappens, that it was Helmut Marko's doing because of the whole power struggle after Dietrich had passed away.
Yes.
So that was interesting to hear. He wasn't kind of going, oh, the Verstappens had me ousted. He firmly believes it was nothing to do with them. But that's the only interesting bit. I think we said before, you suggested before we started, didn't you, that at some point when there's an off week in the races, we'll sit and binge Drive to Survive and give our thoughts in an episode.
Yes.
But I think, unless there's anything else you've noticed, but I think that kind of just ties us up for the week.
No, that brings us to a close before the first race of the season.
I'm so excited.
I know, I'm so excited as well.
I don't know what to expect. We're seeing these cars and the starting procedures and the...
Who knows?
I don't know if it's just going to be absolute carnage or whether we're going to be in for a really exciting race with cars that are a little bit skittish. And
your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. Do give us your predictions for Australia as well in the chat, in the comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know who you think is going to be on top. I think it's going to be a Ferrari 1-2 with a Red Bull behind them. That's my.
Well, we've all got to be wrong sometimes.
Yeah, we do. We do. Either a Red Bull or a Mercedes behind them. That's it. But yeah, that is going to be us for episode 11. Thank you so much for listening to us. Do leave your comments down below. Give us your thoughts. Tell us what you agreed, what you disagreed with. Tell us who you hope will come out on top at the end of the season, but who you think we will as well. And thank you so much. I forgot to say at the start. I always forget. Mark tells me off all the time for saying the start, but I always say at the end. Well, thank you so much for all the support so far with the podcast. It's been absolutely amazing. The fact that so many of you are listening in and giving us feedback as well, whether it's through Discord and things like that. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. We're going to be here all season, every week, unless something drastic happens. Every week, giving you our thoughts on all the races, and we cannot wait to dive in next week. And you'll even see our thoughts after qualifying. We will post a little something individually after qualifying next week to let you know what we think is going to happen in the race ahead. But until next time, thanks for listening and take care.